Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Codeman Movies. I start out this video by saying I'm very sorry because it's been 2 weeks and it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was not planned that way. As I said in my last video about 2 weeks ago, I headed to Minnesota to do a cousin's weekend with my cousin. It's the third time we've done this now, third year in a row, and well, he had never been on a roller coaster before, so I took him to Mall of America. They live in Minnesota. Took him to Mall of America to go on his first roller coaster. If you don't know what Mall of America is, well, it's like the biggest mall, I think, in the United States. I don't know that for sure, but I know at one point it used to be. But anyways, we went inside this mall. Inside the mall, there are roller coasters. There's like 10 roller coasters. Not the biggest, scariest roller coasters in the world. And that's why I kind of brought him there. I'm like, let's start you out easy with your first ever roller coaster. See how you like it. Well, he liked it, and I'm glad he liked it. He had a blast. He wants to go bigger and better next year, which I'm totally okay with. What I was not okay with was the fact that I think we caught something at Mall of America. It's not COVID. We got tested. We're all good, but it was absolutely awful, guys. Just awful. So I came back on Tuesday, totally expecting to wake up on Wednesday to do a video. The problem is on Wednesday, when I woke up, I had a terrible, terrible cough and couldn't talk more than 5 minutes without coughing. And so I said, well, and there was no other issues. My chest wasn't full of crap, nothing like that. It's just I was coughing. And so I figured, you know what? I'll take some flu and cold medicine. It'll be gone by tomorrow. Well, that did not happen. I woke up Thursday with a super hot temperature. I was very dizzy, cold, even though I had this super hot temperature. My entire body hurt and ached, just everything. It was absolutely awful. Again, this wasn't COVID necessarily. It was not COVID at all, actually, because we did get tested. I was very far away. Let's get a little closer. You guys probably can't even hear me. I'm already yelling because my voice is weird, and you probably couldn't even hear me. That's probably better. Anyways, guys, it wasn't COVID, but we were very sick. That happened on Thursday then. Friday, the fever was gone, but all the other things still there. Saturday, just really bad cough, basically, still very achy. Sunday, same thing. Today, finally, it's basically just a little bit of cough. I am coughing here now and then. My chest still hurts quite a bit. That's something that started on Thursday. And so, I just, in that time span, I couldn't do a video, unfortunately, and I really wanted to. I really had plans on Wednesday morning to have a video out. Even though there wasn't going to be much to talk about, I wanted to have a video out. So, we're finally getting that video out, guys. It's been quite a period of time. Way too much period of time. And I apologize for that. So, that is what it is, guys. That's just my introduction here before we start talking about some movies that I saw this week. Yep, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a lot. We'll see how long this episode is with the amount that I have. If we have more time, I might talk about a little something, but I'm not going to say what it is because if we do go over time because I overtalk about things and yada, 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 then I'm not going to do it. But if we have enough time, then you know what? I'll do it, and, you know, we'll make this a nice amount of time, runtime episode. You know what I'm trying to say. Again, I'm still slightly sick. Anyways, guys, grab your beverages. Today I am not drinking alcohol because, well, alcohol's not helping this, so I'm drinking apple cider. I'm so fun. Yeah. Don't have too many apple ciders, kids, because you're going to get all drunk up crazy. I apologize if that happens like 17 times throughout this video. But anyways, guys, let's get started. We're going to start with a movie that we watched in Film Club last month for Halloween, horror month, I guess you could say. It's Black Christmas, guys, the 1974 version, not any of the remakes. I think there was a 2009 one and 2019 one. Have not seen either of those. I had honestly never heard of either three of these movies, really. Which is interesting considering that there was three of them, but and I learned nothing, so I was kind of excited to actually see this one. And I'm realizing that I forgot something. Once again, I always forget it, guys, but I have it right here. I need my notes. Hi, did you see my butt? I'm sorry if you saw my butt. I hope that, you didn't see my ass crack. If you saw anything, I hope you didn't see anything. I hope you just saw my pants, but maybe you saw my underwear, my I don't even know what I'm wearing for underwear. I think I'm wearing American Eagles today. American Eagle, great underwear, great shirts, great clothes. I don't know why I'm an advertisement for American Eagle. I'm not getting paid for it, so I don't know. Anyways, guys, Black Christmas, first movie I watched. Did it for Film Club. For starters, guys, this movie has a great point of the view of the killer opener that I really enjoyed. And I love the idea of being the killer, essentially. Walking around and stalking your next victim, essentially. That is really interesting, and I thoroughly enjoyed that opener. I also love the idea of someone's calling, and you're immediately like, this is a joke. It also reminded me a bit of Scream, except this is very different than Scream, because the girls very quickly... Well, it's not that different from Scream. Well, there's similarities. In this particular movie, the person calls, this person has been calling before, so the girls are slightly on edge already. Some of them are like, this is just a joke. So there's a bit of half and half in the group of who's feeling what. And I really do like that. Like I said, it just feels very similar to Scream when these calls are happening. And I like that comparison, even though Scream happens like 30, 40 years after this, which is, I love Scream. So I like that. I love the people that are the sorority that are living in this house are the ones getting killed off. I just like the idea that people in a one location building are slowly getting taken off one by one, and it's almost like a mystery of who is doing this. I really did enjoy that. Cinematography in this movie, the technical aspects of this movie are really great. The sound editing, the sound mixing, all that, really great. Most of the acting is really good in this movie. There's a couple over-the-top moments and such like that, but for the most part is really good. There are some really good, creepy horror moments. I don't know if you can really see the poster, but it's a woman sitting in a rocker with a bag over her head, dead, suffocated. It's just a creepy thing to see. And this movie has some really great moments like that where just you see creepy things. And it is just really interesting. And yeah, just seeing like people essentially dead and seeing how they were somewhat taken out is very interesting. What I will say about this movie, though, is that there's a lot of plot holes, a lot of unanswered questions, things of how did this happen? So is this person that person? What actually happened? There's a lot of that going on. And at the end, it did kind of take me out a bit. It just left a bad taste in my mouth almost. It kind of is like this cold at times where I wanted to understand it, but I couldn't. Instead, I'm just getting mucus. That was a bad comparison. It is what it is. At the end of the day, though, guys, this is a interesting and fun horror movie. I would definitely recommend it, for sure. It's not the greatest one, definitely of this era of horror as well, comparing it to even, Halloween and Friday the 13th was the 80s, too. I mean, this is 74, so relatively in that era. But it's enjoyable, guys. It's a good one to watch. If you have not seen the original 1974 Black Christmas, I've heard the remakes are absolute crap. I am interested in watching them. Maybe next year I'll do that. I don't know that I want to do it now. I am into fall movies and such like that, and just random movies up until, you know, we get all the award season stuff. So I don't know if I'm watching any more horror necessarily now, but this was a really good, interesting horror movie, and I'm glad I watched it. At the end of the day, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's definitely an enjoyable one. Just the ending kind of left things a bit cold and sour for me, and I wish it hadn't. That's really all I can say. Next up, guys, we have Black Adam. In Minnesota, when I went and hung out with my cousin, I was very happy to hear him ask Cody, can we go to the movies? Last summer, when we did Cousins Weekend, I convinced him to go to the movies because I didn't want to go to a third trampoline park without a little bit of a break. So we went and saw Jungle Cruise. So Nolan is a fan of The Rock, and, you know, that's okay. The Rock's pretty cool. So he chose to go see Black Adams, and I thought this would be a perfect time now to talk a little bit of spoilers. So if you have not seen Black Adam, this is a little bit of spoiler talk with it. I'm not going to go too crazy with the movie, but give some plot points. Since I've already talked about Black Adams in last week's video, I don't need to do a non-spoiler one for this week. So going into spoilers with Black Adam, the opening of this movie was kind of boring. It's just a lot of exposition. And I could even tell Nolan next to me was starting to get kind of bored with it. Up until Black Adam really enters, it's kind of just blah. And that's, 20 minutes into the movie almost? And so until the first 20 minutes is kind of a bore. I will say the movie starts very weak. And like I said, Nolan is my 10-year-old cousin. You could tell he was kind of just bored at that point. Until The Rock comes on screen and the action starts. Kind of gets boring right away. And, you know, exposition needs to be in a movie, but it needs to be done in a better way than what this movie did. We'll also say this, too. In the beginning of the movie, we get introduced to the kid. I don't like this kid throughout the movie, for the most part. He has a couple of interesting moments, mostly when he's with Black Adam. But other than that, it's just kind of stupid. And I don't think the acting's good. I think some of the things the character is given is just not good. There's the cheesy part at the end where he's calling the people to help kill off the zombies, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I like the zombie thing. I like the idea of the people rising up to do it. But the kid stands up on a little rock and screams a little bit. Everyone just immediately stops. And the kid's like, let's go fight. And they're like, okay. And then it was stupid. Oh, sorry guys, let me. Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. So yeah, I thought that was really dumb. So yeah, everything with the kid is just not my favorite. As soon as Black Adam's on screen, The Rock is a great choice for Black Adam. He does a great job with the role. He looks the part. He feels the part, and I did really enjoy that. From there, guys, there's the things with the Justice Society. I really like the Justice Society. Adam and, is it Chaos? I forget what the other even character's name. I forget the two minor characters. I know there's Hawkman and Dr. Fate. The other two I don't know about because they have nothing. There's nothing really for them. I mean, there's just a couple things for them to do, but it's not a lot, and it's just, they're there. They don't say very much necessarily, and they just don't have a big part, and it bugs me. Well, it doesn't bug me. It's just, you want to care and you just don't. It was unfortunate to me. I really do like Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I do find you immediately know what the end's going to happen. You know he's going to die. His name is Fate. And he's seeing these things, and yeah, he's probably going to die. It was very cliche, and you knew exactly what was going to happen. Where am I? The villain in this movie, guys. Let's talk about that. The villain, you know immediately who it is, and you just kind of know immediately, again, what is going to happen towards the end of this movie, because he's going to be one of those generic, stupid villains, and he's going to kind of get defeated easily, and that's kind of what happens throughout this movie. He just kind of is defeated immediately, and then that scene where he's trying to find the kid, and the kid comes out just because like two people passed by and he thinks he's in the clear. You're a stupid kid for doing that. And then when when Black Adams does come in to save this kid, he brings the kid to another section of the building. Like, why not take the kid to Timbuktu? But instead, he leaves the kid at the building where the bad guys are coming down the stairs searching. He's gonna get caught. Why would you do that? It's so stupid. Some stupid things happen in this movie. And it did bug me because you know what's gonna happen, and it's just not, you don't feel anything for it anymore by that point, and it's just not what you want it to be, unfortunately. The end battle is interesting enough. It's kind of quick. The bad guy turns into the devil, and it's just this kind of quick fight. There's also that scene where they're in that warehouse, and he's going to shoot the kid, and The Rock kills a bunch of people with his explosion, but the kid's fine, and everyone else is just kind of fine. That doesn't make sense to me either. There's a lot of things that don't make sense in this movie. But at the end of the day, it's this fun action movie. You have zombies at the end. These zombie skeletons. It's kind of cool. It's fun. There's some fun action sequences. There's just a bunch of dumb stuff throughout the movie that it doesn't totally work out for me. And then I just don't like that you're taken out, essentially, is what bugs me about this movie. And it's just cliche. And all that fun, just cliche and cheesy at times, and it does just take you out. I don't like when a movie takes me out this much, and it does. That end credit scene with Superman, it was spoiled before the movie came out. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't spoiled by it. But I knew it was coming, and it was basically just Superman going, "Hey, sup, I'm Superman. You're Black Adam. Peace." And I don't... What? That's it? Come on. If you're going to spoil that scene for us, then it better be better than that. And I was underwhelmed by it. After hearing that it's in the movie, before the movie even came out, I just didn't care as much. Guys, like I said last week, I don't hate this movie. I really don't. I think I gave it, a 7 out of 10? It's an enjoyable, fun movie. It's just there's some really dumb things that happen throughout the movie. And it could have been a lot better of a movie. I wanted this to be as great as Shazam. I don't think I've ever talked about Shazam in this show. We will soon, by the start of 2022, probably in March, I'll watch Shazam again, and we'll talk about that. But I really enjoyed Shazam, and I wanted it to be at the level of Shazam. It's not quite at that level, and I wanted it to be more. Just not, and I really want it to be. Again, guys, didn't hate it. It's 7 out of 10. I think, as I said last week, it's enjoyable. I just really wish it had been just a bit more, and it just wasn't. Yeah, so that's my very short little thing of spoiler talk on Black Adam, guys. Oh, God, I just want to make sure this is still working, especially since I'm struggling to talk, and I can only do this once, so I am not even going to try a second time. You guys all straight? I think we're all straight. Okay. Sorry, guys, I worry about these things. Next up, guys, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. I have been obsessed with serial killers after Dahmer came out. So, continuing on with another docu-series on John Wayne Gacy. I've already watched a couple. I think we've already talked about one or two. But this was another one. 10 episode one came out, I think, like a year or two ago. This one's really interesting. It has videos, interviews with John Wayne Gacy, and I really, really thought that was intriguing and interesting. I liked the fact that it opened the episodes and ended the episodes with that. And I don't watch these things because I'm interested in how they killed people or anything like that. I am more interested in leading up to it, how we could have caught these persons. Because again, with John Wayne Gacy, there were signs with this guy that he should have been caught, and we didn't get it for some reason. And then there's just also the fact, and then I just love the facts after the killings. How does the killer respond to being caught and people knowing that he did it? They did it. I shouldn't say he necessarily. The killer can be a she too. But I love those. The beginning and the end aspects of it. That's what interests me. And John Wayne Gacy was just always very arrogant, it seems. What we get from these interviews is that he told tall tales a lot of the times, and you never could trust the guy. You didn't know if he was being honest or not. What was really interesting is in these videos, you see he had this binder filled with the victims that he claims that he killed, but didn't kill all of them, and that there was accomplices to some, but this and that. He wouldn't say who these accomplices were necessarily or anything, but he has all this files and stuff and all this background, and you see why people kind of did believe him, even though he could have been full of shit, because he was just that good at doing that. And you see why his victims would have went into his home and got killed. Like, it's insane. It really is. And just fascinating, this guy. I could not believe what I was seeing with these videos. This docuseries is also very interesting in the sense that it shows some of his family members, people he's worked with in the past, talking about him and talking about these things that I just said, how he could very easily just bring you in and he could fool you. And that's what interests me, is how these people just manage to fool people like this. It blows my mind. So that was really interesting. I also do love that this docu-series brings up the fact that he had to have accomplices for certain things. That was things I didn't really realize from other ones. I knew the bodies had been in a crawl space. The crawl space they really show more of in this one, and there's no way that he fit in there. So he had to have people help him. And these people had to have known what they were burying. So he had to have accomplices with them. Nobody ever really came out and said anything. John Wayne Gacy never really said who they were. He kind of threw out names, but he never really said they helped necessarily. And it's all very interesting to me. Just all this uncertainty about things. And just who and how John Wayne Gacy was. It blows my mind. I just love how they introduced and ended with John Wayne Gacy these recordings of interviews he had, and just seeing where he is. And like I said, I don't care about how he killed people. There are little things in here where he is talking about that. I didn't care that much about that. What surprised me in those instances, just how proud he was of these ways he came up to kill with people. And that was where I was going, okay, this is maybe a bit too much for me, but it's more of just the stuff that happens beforehand and after. That's what's interesting to me. And it just blows my mind, these things. If this is any kind of stuff you're interested in, guys, this is a great one to watch. I love Chicago. I'm going there this Friday, actually, guys. So again, this next week's video might not have much, but we'll find something to talk about. And I have a feeling... I'll still have enough movies to have watched anyway. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, guys, another enjoyable doc on serial killers. I think this one maybe was an episode or two too long. This took a lot longer for me to watch. I didn't watch this in a week. I think this was like 2 or 3 weeks I was watching this. It was just a couple episodes could have been a little shorter, and maybe could have been 8 episodes instead of 10. But other than that, it's quite enjoyable. Not enjoyable, but it's quite interesting, and it's just I enjoy learning this information about these people, I guess. So at the end of the day, guys, I'll give this like an 8 out of 10. It was something I got a lot of information from, and I'm glad I watched it. So yeah. Next up, guys, only real movie I watched this week, unfortunately, guys. With me being so sick and dizzy and in pain, it was hard for me to watch something with a story and pay attention and follow things. So I just couldn't, unfortunately. But I did watch this weird one because, well, I wanted to. It's a new movie. And Daniel Radcliffe, who is an actor that I've always loved, not just because of Harry Potter, because of what he has done with his career post-Harry Potter. Things like Swiss Army Man and Guns Akimbo and Horns. Like, he has took on these very strange, interesting roles. And he just seems to not even be... He seems so comfortable with what he's doing. And he's not afraid to take a challenge. He's not afraid to get naked on screen. He's not afraid to be an idiot on screen. He's not afraid to play a dead body on screen that runs like a motorboat. It's just so interesting what he's chosen to do with his career, and I absolutely freaking love it. So, I just love in interviews that he loves testing himself, challenging himself. It's just, Daniel Radcliffe would be a celebrity I'd love just to hang out with for a day and just chat and pick his brain a little bit, because he just seems like such a genuine guy. I would love to hang out with Daniel Radcliffe. But as far as Weird Al goes, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of his music, but I enjoy it. When I hear it, I enjoy it. I remember the first time I ever heard it would have been middle school. Someone at school played White and Nerdy, and that's the first time I had ever heard of it. And it's an interesting... I don't know all the words to it, but, I knew enough, and I was interested by it. Let's put it that way. And so, yeah, it was interesting in middle school, and I knew of him since, learned a few songs here and there, but I've never, actually listened to them for enjoyment and pleasure at home when I'm cleaning the house, So it was just interesting to check this movie out, not knowing really anything about him. And that kind of brings me to my first thing about this movie, because I didn't know much about him. Only thing I really knew is that he's this squeaky clean celebrity. He doesn't swear, he hasn't really had any drama in his life, and that's about all I knew. And so this movie starts with some things with his childhood that I went, this doesn't seem right for who he is. And I was like, but maybe it's true. We'll move on. And then about 30 to 45 minutes in, things really start going crazy. I go, okay, what? And then I go back to the beginning of this movie, because the beginning of this movie has an introduction from Weird Al himself saying, this is my semi-autobiographical / fantasy movie of my biopic movie of my life. And you just start thinking about that 30 to 45 minutes into the movie, and things just start clicking. And this movie is just so interesting. It is so funny. It is really such a riot and a blast from start to finish. I kind of compare it to the Lonely Islands movie, Pop Star Never Stoppin', something like that. That kind of thing. It really is such a funny, weird, meta, interesting biopic, I guess, movie. And it's absolutely enjoyable, guys. It's on Roku. It's free. You can download the app on your TV. That's what I did with my smart TV anyway. If you can, you guys should. I mean, even if you don't like Weird Al, it's going to be something enjoyable because once you get it, you really get it. If you don't like that kind of stuff where you have to get it and it gets meta and stuff, it's not going to be for you. But boy, if you can go into it with having fun and just enjoying these weird jokes and letting it go as crazy as it does and enjoying Danny Radcliffe's performance, you're going to really enjoy this movie. And boy, did I had so much fun with this. It gets so crazy and so over the top and bombastic that I just had an absolute blast, guys. That's all I really want to say about this one, because all the technical stuff are great. Acting's great. Cinematography, blah, blah, blah. The direction is just so great. This movie doesn't necessarily need you to talk about that. It just wants you to realize how crazy it is. And it's crazy. And I implore you to go and watch this movie, guys. It is such an enjoyable movie. So funny. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It is one of my favorite movies of the year, honestly, so far. This year's been kind of weak, but I don't know if it's going to make my top 10 of the year, but it's so enjoyable, guys, and I had so much fun watching it. Really did. Next up, guys, we have Friends, the Reunion. Like I said, guys, it was really hard for me to watch anything with a narrative. So something I was watching. What just happened? Oh, there it goes. Sorry, guys. So anyways, I've been sick. I can't watch anything with a narrative. The thing I have been watching has been Friends, because I've watched them all 100 times. I really don't need to watch them. I just need to hear it. I know what's going on. And so I could do that with Friends. But I kind of also wanted to watch something different, because I was getting sick of just watching Friends. So I said, well, let's watch Friends, the Reunion. I watched it when it came out in 2021. So it's been over a year since I've watched it. And I just wanted to watch it again. And, you know, something a little different that's not quite Friends. So I decided to watch it again. Guys, this is just such a heartwarming, fun little thing. From the moment it starts, you see them just going on the old set and reminiscing. And it's so beautiful and fun to watch. So enjoyable. I absolutely love it from the start. And I just absolutely love the show Friends. And I love this reunion after 17 years. Like, obviously they've all seen each other at certain points and they've hung out with each other. But all 6 of them together, people get busy. People go have kids. People, you know, Michael Perry had his addiction problems. Jennifer Aniston kind of became a huge movie star. Just all these things come into play, and it's hard for 6 people to get together again. And it's so great to see them together after all this period of time. And it is just really heartwarming. And I love to just see them back together, reminiscing, going through these memories. And I absolutely love the scenes where they're doing like a table talk of the script of some of the episodes. And I absolutely love seeing that. I also love them just sitting together talking. I love the game that they play in basically a flashback of the episode of the one where they have the game. And I just love that. I love how the cast seem to really do care about each other, love each other. And this 10 years they were together, it absolutely was an important part of their life. And it's so interesting to see that. It really is. I also love the cameos throughout this show. There are cameos from people that have been on the show, from guest stars, all that stuff. And I love seeing them all in this show. They have the quick little 3 to 5 minute talk with them, and then they're, you know, it's a cameo. And that's what it is, and I love that. I love that they focus on the main group, but they also have the time to, you know, reunite with some other minor members of the cast. And I just really enjoyed that. And I just love that. I love that it's just these people together shooting the shit. I really do. I love that. negative for me about this is it's kind of messy. Like, you get 5 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of them reminiscing, 5 minutes of a table script, 5 minutes with James Corden for some stupid reason. I wish he was not hosting this. And then 5 minutes of something else, and 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of that, and it just jumps around a lot. I wish they kind of just, Chapter 1, the game. Chapter 2, talking with James Corden. Chapter 3, something like that. It just got a little messy for me. You get bored with certain parts of it. And I just wish they'd done a little better with it, I guess, as far as how they put it. Excuse me, I'm tired. I just wish they had done better with that anyway, of how they put it together. But at the end of the day, guys, though, I love the show Friends. I love seeing these people together, and it's just great what they did with this, and I'm glad this happened. There was struggles, I guess, getting this started with the pay. Just pay these people. I get how weird that is. They should almost just be volunteering for this. It's just a chance for them to hang out. Like, why are they getting paid to hang out with friends? But it is what it is, and that's the industry, and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's Friends the Reunion. I really enjoyed it. If you love Friends, the show, you should check this out. It is such a beautiful, heartwarming thing. So, and if you're sick and you can barely see, it's something you can kind of just listen to. You don't have to really necessarily see it. So that's a plus. Lastly, guys, for today, and yeah, it will be the last for today because we're actually at a normal time for today's episode. We'll do what I was going to do, maybe next week when I haven't seen as much movies and come back from Chicago. Hopefully not sick. But Harry Potter reunion, guys. I literally finished with the Friends one and decided, hey, let's watch the Harry Potter one next. And Tom Felton has been in the news with his new book, so another thing that just got me hooked on this too next. So, and I was watching this one, and I remember when I watched it early in January this year. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a little less this time around, and it was because I just watched it after the Friends one. The Friends one brought the core cast together, and they're there, all 6 of them together the entire time. This one, it seems like they couldn't really get everyone. Like, the most they could get everyone together is in the intro of it, and that's really only like 6 cast members, and not even the main cast members. A lot of this just feels like, hey, you guys can hang out for a day? Great, let's talk to you guys for a day. Oh, you can hang out for a day, you can hang out for a day, you can hang out for a day. Oh, let's put you next to this person. And even like the 3 trio, it feels like they were really only available for a day. And then it seems like there's other moments where like Emma and Rupert were available for like 2 days, but Daniel wasn't. And then it felt a little bit weirder. And I wish that if you're going to make this reunion special, make sure everyone can come together for a few days to make it. Make it really impactful. And this movie's not quite as impactful as I wanted it to be. It is still really great, though, seeing some of the old directors, some of the cast, but even like the Weasley twins. They're kind of just by themselves for one scene. Luna. She's just kind of there for a couple things to talk about how she was cast as Luna. Dean Thomas, he doesn't talk about anything, really. Jenny just kind of talks about Weasleys. Longbottom talks about being a Longbottom, and they're not really in it. It's more of just more than anything, it feels like just Daniel Radcliffe is going around talking to members one-on-one, and there's just kind of a discussion. I wish it had been all these people on this poster in the room together talking, and it just wasn't that. So that was something that did bug me a little bit. But similar to Friends, though, it is just heartwarming listening to these beautiful stories that they have in these moments and just watching them reminisce. And this one comes... So these guys haven't done the movie in 10 years, which isn't that long. So seeing them again together, it just doesn't feel as big of a deal as the Friends one is, because it's been almost 20 years since you've seen them together. And so it just feels like this was kind of more of a cash grab. All of this just feels very much like a cash grab, like, hey, the Friends one worked, let's quickly put together a Harry Potter one, by the time 2022 starts so we can have another one. And it felt forced. It didn't feel as warranted as the Friends reunion will. I hope that in, another 10 years, when it is actually 20 years, not 20th anniversary like this poster says, that doesn't make any sense. The last movie came out in 2010. 20 years would be, what is that? 2010 plus 20, 2030. That's when this reunion should really be going on. And it felt a little weirder, very much cash grabby. And I did not enjoy that aspect of this. Something that this did really great, that the Friends one didn't though, is that this one talked very much about some cast members who have died and remembering them and honoring them. Robbie Coltrane just recently passed, and all over the news and stuff, they put up the one scene from this reunion special, where the one bit where Robbie Coltrane says that he's so honored to have been a part of it because it's something that's going to live on. Kids are going to have kids, and they're going to share their kids Harry Potter. And he talks about how it's so beautiful that this legacy goes on. He won't be alive for it, unfortunately, but Hagrid will. And it's just so hard. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, actually. It's so hard to have seen that and hear that when this just came out this year and knowing that he just died. Like, it's almost like he knew he was going to die this year or something. Oh, my God. That really did hit. And that's what I will really say was really great about this one, guys, is it really did just hit really well. And this is just such a nice thing to watch when you are sick, like I was, guys, because you need a little heart warmth. If you're just sick and coughing too much and you can't watch a narrative, this is something you can watch and just feel a little better. So, yeah, I'm going to give it the same score as the Friends one. I think I like the Friends one slightly more, but I'm going to give them the same grade, really. It's 8 out of 10. I would prefer to watch the Friends one just because they're all together, and there has been this time gap, so it feels a little bit more important. But at the same time, the love you feel with everyone in this Harry Potter one is absolutely strong and powerful as well. And you just feel it as well, too. Oh, boy. Now I'm sniffling for 2 different reasons. Yeah, let me grab a little more of this, guys. My voice is also going out, too. All right. So, yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of things I've watched this week. I'm hoping to see Tar tomorrow. It is in theater near me, so I hope to check that out. I don't think there's really much of anything big coming out this next week. I didn't really look. I just don't feel good, guys. I'm not even going to check. We'll talk about what I get to see next week. Oh, wait! Next week is Black Panther. I take that back. And I'm seeing it in Chicago. So I will be talking about that next week. Wow, how did I forget? Tar is a movie that I'm very excited for. I've been hearing such good things about it. I know very little about it. Something about a composer played by Cate Blanchett. So that's like an 8 out of 10 excitement for me. Black Panther, I did not love the first one. I enjoyed it. I should watch that first one this week. And we'll talk about that next week too. But yeah, anyways, guys, I didn't enjoy that first Black Panther. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it like everyone else did. So I am excited for Black Panther 2. Just not quite as much as Spider-Man No Way Home, for example. But what I will say is this year has sucked for Marvel. So I am much more excited than I think I would have been if the rest of this year hadn't sucked. So I will say that, guys. It brings me up to like a 9 out of 10 excitement instead of like an 8 out of 10 that I would have been, or a 7 out of 10 excitement that I would have been had this year not sucked with Marvel. So look forward to hopefully hearing more stuff about that next week. I hope that I can have a decent sized video. and still see some stuff in Chicago. I cannot wait to go see Black Panther on, like, I think Chicago has, like, DXR or whatever, the fancy stuff. I'll pay $30 to, you know, have the weird seats and stuff spraying at me. You know. Anyways, guys, I really need to stop talking. My voice is going dead. My body hurts. I need to take a bath, and I need to drink some more liquids, and I need to go to sleep. Because I also have to work and clean house and business tomorrow. So, yippee skippy. I'm so excited when I'm feeling like this. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you don't get sick the way I am. If you're going to go on roller coasters, guys, bathe in hand sanitizer, eat sanitizer, drink sanitizer. I mean, everything. Just take hand sanitizer and spray it all over the coaster before you actually go on it. All that stuff. But until then, guys, what am I trying to say? So anyways, guys, I'm crazy, obviously. I'm tired. I'm losing my mind. So I will see you guys next week. Hopefully, let's hope I don't get sick and, you know, again, go through this all and have it be 2 weeks. Let's not wait 2 weeks to see each other again. Hopefully see you next week. You guys have yourself a very good week. I'll see you very soon. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Tip your waitresses. When I mean tip them, well, tip your waiters and waitresses. Let's not discriminate. Waiters and waitresses, tip them. When I mean tip them, I mean push them. Don't do that. That would not be nice at all.